The United States has had a profound influence on the world through its culture, impacting various aspects of global society. Here are some key areas where American culture has made significant contributions. Cultural influence 1. Media and entertainment. The U.S. has dominated global media with Hollywood films, TV shows, and music. American English has become a common language for international communication, with 2 billion people worldwide speaking some form of English, largely influenced by American English. 2. Popular culture. American popular music genres like blues, jazz, rock roll, and rap have become universally popular. The American lifestyle has been exported globally, especially after World War II, influencing consumer culture and daily life. 3. Literature and art. American literature often critiques American society, while American art, particularly the pop art movement led by artists like Roy Lichtenstein and Andy Warhol, has been influential worldwide. 4. Food culture. American-style fast food has changed global eating habits, with chains like McDonald's and KFC becoming ubiquitous. Economic and political influence. 1. Economic impact. The U.S. has been a leader in economic globalization, influencing trade policies and economic systems worldwide. Its consumer economy has driven global demand for goods and services. 2. Political influence. The U.S. has played a significant role in shaping global politics, particularly through its military interventions and foreign policy. The occupation of Japan after World War II, for example, led to significant cultural and political reforms in that country. Globalization and westernization. 1. Westernization. American culture has contributed to the process of westernization, especially in East Asia, where it has influenced lifestyle, governance, and education. 2. Globalization. The U.S. has been at the forefront of technological innovations like the internet and personal computers, which have facilitated global communication and cultural exchange. Overall, American culture has had a profound and multifaceted impact on the world, shaping media, entertainment, politics, and economies globally. The United States significantly influenced post-World War II global politics through several key initiatives and strategies. Economic leadership. 1. Bretton Woods System. The U.S. played a central role in establishing the Bretton Woods monetary system, which created the International Monetary Fund (IMF) and the World Bank. This system stabilized international currencies and facilitated global trade by pegging other currencies to the U.S. dollar. 2. Marshall Plan. The U.S. implemented the Marshall Plan, a comprehensive economic aid program aimed at rebuilding Western Europe. This not only helped stabilize the region but also solidified U.S. economic influence and promoted peace by fostering economic interdependence. Political and military influence. 1. United Nations. The U.S. was instrumental in founding the United Nations, an international organization dedicated to maintaining peace and security. This marked a shift from U.S. isolationism to active global engagement. 2. NATO and Western alliances. In response to Soviet expansionism, the U.S. led the formation of NATO and other Western alliances. These alliances served as a counterbalance to Soviet influence in Europe and Asia. Cold War dynamics. 1. Containment policy. The U.S. adopted a policy of containment to limit the spread of communism, engaging in a decades-long Cold War with the Soviet Union. This involved military interventions, economic aid, and diplomatic efforts to influence global politics. 2. Decolonization and global governance. The U.S. supported decolonization efforts and promoted a new world order that emphasized democracy and free markets. This helped shape global governance structures and influence the political landscape of newly independent nations. Overall, the U.S. emerged as a dominant global power after World War II, shaping international relations through economic, political, and military initiatives that continue to influence global politics today. What were the main goals of the Marshall Plan? How did the Bretton Woods Conference shape the global economy? What impact did the United States have on the creation of the United Nations? How did the United States' economic power influence its global policies after World War II? What were the key differences between American foreign policy after World War I and World War II? Main goals of the Marshall Plan. 1. Economic recovery. The primary goal was to rebuild war-torn Europe after World War II, restoring infrastructure, industries, and economies to prevent economic collapse. 2. Political stability. By promoting economic recovery, the U.S. aimed to prevent the spread of communism, which was seen as a threat in politically unstable and impoverished regions. 3. Strengthening alliances. The plan sought to foster strong economic and political ties between Western Europe and the United States, ensuring a united front against the Soviet Union during the Cold War. 4. Market expansion. Reviving European economies would create demand for American goods, benefiting U.S. industries and ensuring a stable global trading system. How the Bretton Woods Conference shaped the global economy. 1. Establishment of key institutions. The conference led to the creation of the International Monetary Fund (IMF) and the World Bank, which were designed to stabilize the global economy and provide financial assistance for reconstruction and development. 2. Fixed exchange rate system. The Bretton Woods system established a gold-backed U.S. dollar as the global reserve currency, with other currencies pegged to it. This system promoted monetary stability and facilitated international trade. 3. Economic cooperation. The conference laid the foundation for post-war economic cooperation, reducing the protectionist policies that had contributed to the Great Depression. 4. U.S. Economic dominance. The Bretton Woods system cemented the U.S. dollar's central role in the global economy, reflecting America's emergence as the world's leading economic power. Impact of the United States on the creation of the United Nations. 1. Leadership role. The U.S. was a key architect of the United Nations UN, hosting the 1945 San Francisco Conference where the UN Charter was drafted and signed. 2. Promoting collective security. The U.S. pushed for a system of collective security to prevent future conflicts, replacing the failed League of Nations. 3. Economic and social goals. The U.S. advocated for the inclusion of economic and social development in the UN's mission, leading to the creation of agencies like the World Health Organization, WHO, and UNESCO. 4. Veto power. The U.S. ensured that it, along with other major powers the Soviet Union, China, France, and the UK, had veto power in the UN Security Council, allowing it to influence global decisions. How the United States' economic power influenced its global policies after World War II. 1. Containment of communism. The U.S. used its economic resources to implement policies like the Marshall Plan and the Truman Doctrine to counter Soviet influence. 2. Military alliances. Economic strength enabled the U.S. to fund and lead military alliances such as NATO, ensuring its dominance in global security. 3. Global trade leadership. The U.S. promoted free trade and open markets, establishing institutions like the General Agreement on Tariffs and Trade GATT to shape the global economic order. 4. Foreign aid and development. The U.S. provided economic aid to developing countries to gain allies and counter Soviet influence during the Cold War. 5. Dollar diplomacy. The U.S. dollar's role as the global reserve currency allowed the U.S. to exert significant influence over international finance and trade. Key differences between American foreign policy after World War I and World War II. 1. Isolationism versus internationalism. After World War I, the U.S. adopted an isolationist stance, refusing to join the League of Nations and focusing on domestic issues. After World War II, the U.S. embraced internationalism, taking a leading role in creating the UN and shaping the post-war world order. 2. Economic involvement. After World War I, the U.S. withdrew from European economic affairs, contributing to the Great Depression and global instability. After World War II, the U.S. actively invested in global economic recovery through the Marshall Plan and Bretton Woods system. 3. Military engagement. After World War I, the U.S. demilitarized and avoided entanglements in European conflicts. After World War II, the U.S. maintained a large military presence worldwide and formed alliances like NATO to counter Soviet expansion. Global leadership. After World War I, the U.S. avoided assuming a leadership role, leaving a power vacuum that contributed to the rise of fascism. After World War II, the U.S. emerged as a superpower, taking responsibility for maintaining global stability and promoting democracy. Cold War dynamics. After World War II, UW's foreign policy was heavily influenced by the Cold War, focusing on containing communism through economic, military, and diplomatic means. After World War I, there was no comparable ideological conflict shaping U.S. policy.